Hey there, this is Anonymous T. This is my backup channel, Anonymous T Podcast. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today. Sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking love and marriage, Huntsville. You guys know why you're here today. We are talking because Letitia's mom... She does these lives, you guys, on her Instagram where she wants to preview the inappropriate and derogatory and out of bounds topics that she's going to be saying on her YouTube live the following evening or the following day. And it's usually a slander fest and defamatory fest of none other than Melody Shree Rogers, and now this time inserting Mama Van. And it's just like... You know, for somebody who claims that they cannot stand somebody and that, you know, if you dig your grave for somebody, dig one for yourself, and that the energy and the negative things that you wish against somebody else can come back to you tenfold, and how you're a Christian and reading Bible verses and all of these things. But then you go and you contradict yourself. You go and be a hypocrite and go on these platforms to just do all of this cussing and dragging, and it's like, for what? And I think somebody in the comments was even like, well, you know Mel's going to respond, or what are you going to do if Mel responds? And Letitia's mom was like, oh, I don't care. I don't care if she responds, let her. And then the cherry on top, the icing on the cake for me was... Letitia's mom basically gloating now that she was fired from Love and Marriage Huntsville, when for the past few seasons, she's done everything in her power to convince her audience and everyone else that she very much was still a part of the show. Tried everything to make people think that she was still filming, and she didn't know whether or not her scenes would make it to air. But now, you know, with the show basically falling by the wayside and the ratings are a disaster, now all of a sudden it's, oh, I'm so glad that I'm no longer on the show. I would burn everything down. That's why they couldn't have me on the show anymore. That's why Carlos King let go of me, because he knows I would turn everything upside down. I would expose everybody. I would drag everyone. I have no filter, blah, 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 blah. And then is bigging up Marceau for saying, you know, that her and Letitia are from the other side of the tracks, saying, see, that's why I'm not on the show, because Marceau had it right. I'm from the other side of the tracks, and they don't want to mess with me, and blah, 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 blah. But he wasn't saying that as a compliment, right? He wasn't saying that for you to wear this as a badge of honor. He was trying to say that you and your daughter and the rest of your family are not intelligent people, are not smart people, are people who need, you know, education, need reinforcements, need to be treated like a child. That's what he was saying. And that you guys had no decorum, and that you guys had, you know, no professionalism. You guys were uncouth. He was insulting you and Letitia and the rest of your family. So I don't understand why you are treating this now as a badge of honor, as something to flex on, because the show is in shambles right now. And somehow you feel that you're better than everyone else because you're not on the show, but you're also discussing the show every which way, right? You can't help yourself, but you cannot get on a live or do anything without discussing this show. And without this show, whether you're on it or not, you have nothing to talk about. You said you're going to mention some scandal involving some preacher or whatever, but really that's not the reason that you're going to be on the live. The reason you're going to be on the live is you want to drag Mel and her mom. Right? And then you are up here talking about some shade that you threw at Kiki's sister about drug tests, still throwing shots that Kiki still needs to get a drug test and all these things. And, you know, basically said you had a different relationship with her compared to the one with Kiki. You're bringing up again people talking to the blogs. And my thing is this. You guys were the ones that were making fun of Kiki when Kiki got exposed. You guys who are supposed to be her family, who are supposed to be, you know, protecting each other and being all cool with each other, you guys refuse to, you know, mentor her or talk to her or give her any advice. all for the simple fact you were pissed that it was quote-unquote Mel that brought her on the show. So therefore, you left her out to dry, and you slandered her name, calling her a drug addict every scene, and, you know, basically, you know, yelling over her as if anything she tried to say about you guys was insignificant, and that she was under the influence every time she was in a scene with you guys, to the point that it escalates and she throws a drink on your daughter. But now all of a sudden, it's okay for Kiki to talk to these same bloggers. Now it's okay for her to, you know, expose scenes and expose things allegedly that are supposed to be happening on the show. All of that is fine now because you want to insert whatever is or isn't happening with Mama Van, and you still don't even have all of the details of what actually entailed those messages, right? All you care about the fact is there was a DM at least between Mama Van and at least one blogger, right? But you don't know the full context of what that conversation was or what all the details of that conversation is. You're just looking at it as a talking point like, oh, Mama Van talks to a blogger, right? But all of you guys talk to a blogger. You literally just said on a previous live that you literally stayed at a blogger's home. That you literally talk every day to a blogger. You guys literally had an event a few weeks ago, Memorial Day weekend, featuring a blogger to host an event, you guys. So I don't understand this hypocrisy that you're trying to now come down on Mama Van for any communication that she may or may not have with any bloggers or YouTubers, but you guys talk to bloggers and YouTubers all the time. In fact, you guys started all this foolery. You guys were the main ones that started inserting social media and YouTubers and bloggers as part of your storylines for the show. So why are you concerned with what Mama Van's doing? Right? And again, you're still lacking the accountability, right, of what is right and what is wrong. And you're also being two-faced because you didn't give a crap about Kiki as long as she was friends with Mel, which should not determine whether or not you're going to still love and treat your family member with respect. As long as there wasn't anything that was inappropriate that was taking place in regards to the friendship with Kiki and Mel, you shouldn't have cared. It shouldn't have bothered you. But because you were so threatened and upset, you tried to use it as something nefarious and just basically disowned your own niece for the sake of her being friends with Mel. And that's completely and utterly ridiculous. And now that her and Mel fell out, now all of a sudden she's back into the fold, but not really, because you keep still throwing shots at her. 1 minute, if it's to go up against a blogger, it's okay for you to, you know, all of a sudden defend your family, be 10 toes down for your family. But the moment it is utilized to, you know, throw shade at Mel or any of these things, it's back to, you know, downing your own niece that you claim that you're 10 toes down for and that nobody can speak ill of but you. And it's okay for you to disown her when you feel that she is working with Mel. But none of that matters right now because the show is in the toilet as far as I'm concerned. So what is the point, right? And then just trying to hype up all this beef that you have with different content creators and just trying to get a reaction out of people. It's like, what are you doing? And saying that you want people to come up on, you know, and talk mess or whatever, still making threats to people, which is why I don't understand why people even want to see any type of fights of any sorts happen. When you brag about having GUNS, when you brag about burying people in your yard in Bessemer, and that people can go ahead and pull up that they might not come back to their families because they'll be DEAD. Like, these are things that are coming out of your mouth. But then you want to say in the same breath that you're a Christian, you want to read Bible scriptures and all these things, right? And then you want to make fun of what's going on with the content creator beef and all these other things and throw jokes and throw shade and throw, you know, and stalk whatever Mel is saying and doing in her lives and in her responses. But how can you read Bible scriptures? How can you sit up here and claim that you're, you know, of moral sound and all these things, but yet you are wishing for somebody else's downfall? You are wishing for other people to fight amongst each other. That's not Christian-like behavior. Whether you're cool with somebody or not, wishing bad on somebody is nothing of you know, any type of Christian behavior, as far as I'm concerned. That's nothing but the devil, you guys. That's nothing but Satan, right? Because regardless if you're cool with somebody or not, you should want the best for them. You should want them to be successful in all aspects of their life. You may not be cool with them. You may not rock with them. You may have fallen out with them. But it's none of your concern to be this obsessed with all of the negativity and then gloat about it. As if this can't happen back to you. As if this can't come back to you 10 times worse. Which is why I don't understand why people think this is some sort of a flex. Because it's not, right? And you seem to think, oh, this is, you know, this is why everything's getting exposed and blah, 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 blah. Well, the show is literally in the toilet right now. The ratings are the lowest ever right now. So what is getting exposed is that the people are not tuning in. Is that the people are not watching this tomfoolery. And again, this need to uplift Martell, this need to make Martell, you know, seem like, oh, Martell's not this bad. Did you guys read the court documents? And I just think it's funny, you guys are now trying to go in on Mama Van, but you ignore all of the times that Martell has been working behind the scenes trying to get his story out to bloggers. And then with certain bloggers that have larger platforms, if Martell doesn't like the narrative, he personally contacts them and tells, quote unquote, his side and tries to convince them to take their videos down if he feels that it's too much lies against him. That's not somebody who's unbothered or, quote unquote, not working with the blogs, you guys. But it's okay because for all of these things to happen, as long as it's not Mel, as long as it's not allegedly her mom, but it's okay for all of you guys to do the same type of behavior. And this is what I mean when I say you guys are all hypocrites. You guys are all contradicting yourselves. And then you guys don't have the facts of all the stories. You take a little piece of it and then you flip it around to make it seem more nefarious than what it is. And you completely get it wrong. Why? And then having the audacity to even reference Michelle Obama talking about when they go low, we go high. And then you're trying to up here talk like a white lady at the drive-thru of a restaurant. Like, make it make sense. Talking about, well, I can talk, you know, how I want to talk, I can be professional and all these things. And it's like, huh? Being professional is saying whether or not somebody has Sierra Mist or Starry at the drive-thru? Letting them know that you need a combo for your pot pie? Like that's professional? Like, I'm just confused as far as, like, what are we saying right now, right? But this isn't it. Devoting your time 24/7 to seeing what is or isn't taking place with Mel and then trying to utilize this content creator beef as a way to, like, insert yourself to throw shade at people or to escalate things on your side of things. And it's like, where were you guys at the height of all this Kiki stuff? Your own family, right? But now all of a sudden it's okay. Now all of a sudden it's no big deal when the bottom line is still Kiki, what she allegedly was saying and doing to bloggers was not appropriate, right? Like, it wasn't. So even if you're trying to do a comparison, it's still not on the level of things that Kiki said and did, right? So make it make sense. So there's that. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.